Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do up a mini campaign for Force of Virtue. Now, campaigns are scary. If you don't know what Force of Virtue is, I made a little review on it last video, so go and check it out. But campaigns are scary. So we're not going to do a campaign. What we're going to do is we're going to roll up a set of linked missions. So 3 or 4, probably 4 missions that are linked together to make a mini campaign that isn't a campaign. So campaigns imply tracking things. Campaigns imply like tracking wounds and stats and gold and experience and leaders and all that sort of stuff. And there is options for campaigns in Force of Virtue. But what I'm talking about is let's just have 4 games that we can link together, that we can learn how to play Force of Virtue with. So let's get started. So I've got this dice roller, which is just, you type dice roller on Google and it pops up. I have rolled up 4 scenarios already. If this goes completely pear-shaped, I'll just bring those out. And I'll bring them out at the end anyway and show you how a little tweaking and a little bit of creativity can give you a really nice, I think, intro campaign without the scare quotes. So I thought about getting dice, which obviously I own, but this is a much easier way for me to show you the rolls. And I'll give myself 3 re-rolls. So there are some combinations here that may seem a little strange. So if I give myself 3 re-rolls of 1 or both dice, I think that's a fair way to do a numbered generator. So what this is in the Force of Virtue book on page 49 for those following along at home. I've got the Force of Virtue book underneath the on the screen underneath my page here, so I'll be looking there instead of a physical book, something like that. So anyway, enough rambling. It's already been rambling enough. So the first thing we do is you roll a d3 to determine what we're leading. So the first question is, you will lead a blank. So let's roll the d3, and the way I roll d3s, I don't know, some people have done, I've seen some strange things over the years, but 1, 2 is 1, 3, 4 is 2, 5, 6 is 3. I've seen some people go 1, 4 is 1, 2, 5 is 2, 3, 6 is 3. It makes sense, but to me it's always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's click roll. Number 6, so we will lead a search. So 3 objectives of the same type are placed on the field. So let's write that down. Sorry, I had my Word document on the same tab, in the same tab cluster thing as my my dice roller. So let me keep a track of this. So you will lead a search. So what are we doing on our search? So the second one we roll is another d3 against a blank enemy. So the search is the type of game we're going to play, and this is the deployment style that an enemy is going to be using. So that's a 2 against an advancing enemy. So that lovely keyboard tapping sound. So what advancing enemy means is that they're going to deploy from a board edge or multiple board edges, depending on the stuff you want to do with the scenario. Probably just one board. So I've got a sore throat that I'm just getting over, which is why I haven't made this video earlier. So excuse the interruptions. But the enemy is going to be coming on from a board edge, and this looks kind of weird now. But once we get to the end of it, we can put it all together and make a coherent story. So we get rid of the d6 and we go over to a d10. We're not going to count the first roll because that's just random. So let's roll our d10 to find out what we're going to do. So we're leading a search against an advancing enemy in order to capture. So we're looking to capture something. So we'll add another d10 to make it 2d10. Oh no, sorry, we need d20. Forgive me. We have a d20 there. Come on, there we go. All right, so what are we trying to capture? We're trying to capture a relic. Very good. And another d20. Reveal a secret. Ooh, okay. You can already see the game coming together. So, for this and the one I created earlier, and for this one I'm creating live, it's two parties of condottieri fighting one another. So the condottieri are mercenaries, essentially. So a group of I'll read out the only premise I gave myself when I wrote the earlier ones was a group of condottieri hired by an Italian nobleman had been tasked with combating some other condottieri hired by a rival family. So that's the extent of the backstory here. So we're leading a search against an advancing enemy to capture a relic and reveal a secret. Well, that seems quite obvious. We've been tasked to go to this area where this relic was supposedly hidden. Say it was meant to be. There was a purchase gone bad, and they had to hide it and run. And so they're coming back to get it. That's why they're advancing. We're trying to find out where. We've got 3 spots where we think it could be. There's sort of 3 chests or 3 sort of places. And our goal with capturing this relic is to reveal that it's a forgery, or to reveal that it's real or something like that. Let's say it's a forgery. Let's say we know for a fact that he's had this relic forged, and in the relic container is a letter from the forger saying why he's, I hope you enjoy the forged relic type stuff. So that is our first mission, will be to try and find this relic first. And you would roll these as you play the games, but let's assume we win everything because we're just so great. So we'll get our D3 again, ignoring that first roll. This is the second scenario. So we've found the relic, we've the fake relic, we've got it, and we've got proof that it's a forgery. Now what are we doing? Let's roll on the chart. You will lead a search again. Okay, I'll have to use one of my re-rolls here if this keeps happening. You will lead a search. Another D3. Against a scattered enemy. Riveting content, I know. Good thing you can't see my horrendous spelling mistakes. We'll get our D10, ignoring the first roll. In order to copy, here we go. You can already see the thing putting itself together. This is actually a really great system of scenario generation for us for a game like this. This would be great for all sorts of like Mordheim and all that sort of stuff too. Anyway, I'll talk more about how good I think this idea is at the end. Let's go. So we're trying to copy a dead body. Okay. And pillage. Okay. So we're doing another search against a scattered enemy, trying to copy a dead body in order to pillage. So what we could say that is we've got the relic, or the fake relic. We've got the paperwork that says that it's a forgery, and now we just need to find a body that looks enough like the guy who forged it in order to go and pillage. Could just mean shake down. So what if we pretended that we've not only got the relic, but we've also killed the guy who made it, and we're going to pin it on this family if they don't give us some money or favors or something. So we're going to pillage them financially or something like that. So we're going through a Roman area, looking for a person who looks enough like this relic maker. I mean, we'll mutilate him enough that you can't recognize him easily. It'll be enough to intimidate the family and shake them down, certainly, in order to pillage them financially. So let us go back to the third game, assuming we've won that as well. So we've got the fake relic with the proof. We've got a body that looks enough like our relic maker, who we must sort of know, or maybe they've never met them, and we're just looking for someone who looks like someone who forges relics. So let's get started on the third scenario. Okay, I'm going to use one of the rerolls there. Number 4. So we've used one of our 3 rerolls. You will lead an assault you will lead an assault against a positioned enemy. Oh, lovely. See, I'm actually having fun. I could just roll these dice all day and generate scenarios. Which, in fact, I'm convincing myself here to go through and show you how to generate characters for games like Sharp Practice and especially Chain of Command has quite a good system. Anyway, this is about Force of Virtue. They're not paying me to do this, but they did give me free access to all of their materials. So, we are leading an assault against a positioned enemy in order to repair. Oh, okay. That's interesting. D20, ignoring the first one. So, in order to repair a spy. Okay. That's interesting. And gain arcane knowledge. So, we've got an enemy who have hold themselves up. The position means in the center of the board deployment. Advancing means from a board edge, and scattered means in little groups around the place. So that's sort of the enemy's deployment positions. Assaulting means there are 5 terrain pieces hiding the main objective. So the enemy's all fortified up. They're launching a search party to look for this spy. And what the spy? Who is the spy? Well, the spy could be a number of things. Let's say in this case the spy is the contact between the family and the fake relic seller. So the spy is some sort of quasi-learned man who knows enough to know how to defraud people out of relics that are fake, or to put together stories that are sort of fake. So we are going to find this seller who we know is in this area, because the other guys are looking for him too, because we've just outed that they got conned into buying a fake relic, and we've shaken them down for it. So they're going looking for their intermediary, their fixer guy. So we're going to try and find him first. And arcane knowledge. Arcane knowledge could, in this case, just be knowledge of some other things that he's done. Arcane implies magical, but we can imply, we can say things like, what other saints' relics have you forged? Relics, for those who don't know, are bones or pieces of clothing. There's different degrees of relics, but bones and body parts are the main ones. So, what other bone relics have you forged or passed off as forgeries, which was a problem in the medieval period, and I assume in this period as well. You get some skull and you say it's the head of John the Baptist, of which there are 2 in churches purported to be John the Baptist's head. So it's sort of an issue. So we're going to try and find the merchant who was selling the relics, or who was organizing with the relic maker seller guy, who was the link with the families, to try and gain knowledge about what other relics he's forged, so that we can potentially shake down more families. We're going a little rogue. We sort of started off as in the employment. Started off in the employment of this nobleman, and our captain has gone a little rogue, which is the way I like to play my my RPG character type things. Not that I play RPGs an awful lot, but if you can go rogue and off script, that's always more fun than playing by the rules. So the final scenario is, I'm going to use another reroll. Here we go. That's what I was looking for. Perfect. A strike. You will launch a strike. And a strike means that there is a central objective that we're going for. So there's a single central objective. You can see the story building itself as we do this. Against an advancing enemy. Okay, so we're both coming in to attack this one central position. I wonder what we're doing that for. So in order to, ignore the first one, in order to unlock, It's maybe we've found a storage vault of fake relics that we can tap into and defraud people with. Lovely. Unlock a gate. And gain arcane knowledge. So let's re-roll that last one. So we're going to unlock a gate for a foreign power. So here's what's happened. We've gone out originally to lead a search to get some relic that some other family ordered that we found out was a forgery. And we were trying to use that to shake them down. Our noble contacts who hired us gave us this inside information. After we found the forgery with proof, we went and killed some poor bastard and got his dead body and messed it up and passed it off as the relic creator, who we don't actually know who that is, but we got a guy and pretended he was a relic creator and messed him up and used that fake dead body to pillage the family for money. We went and shook them down for not revealing their secret. Then we found out who their contact was by following the enemy troops to the guy's house or the guy's neighborhood or something, where we found him in some sort of piece of terrain or building, hiding from everybody because everyone's mad. And we got him and repaired him in that we put him back together after the enemy had beat the ever-living daylights out of him. So we repaired him in that we healed him, put him back together, and gained the arcane knowledge of who he had sold relics to and what relics he'd created and that sort of stuff. Now we're advancing, we're striking, so we're going for a central objective, which in this case would be someone's house, I assume, against an enemy who's coming down the street at us. We're both going for the same house to unlock a gate for a foreign power. So in this case, we've stumbled across, let's say he's some sort of French nobleman or German. Probably German would be more likely in Rome. I think the games always take place, or the games at this current time take place in and around Rome. So we'll say it's an imperial cardinal, so one of the Holy Roman Empire cardinals, of which there are many, has been tricked and duped by some of these fake relics. And we've decided that if we can go in there and hush it up a little bit, we'll take him the proof. We'll shake him down, and if we can do that, we can get some favors for our employers. So we're doing it for unlocking a gate for a foreign power. In this case, we're not so much doing it for a foreign power, but against a foreign power for our own benefactor's benefit. And in this case, we've got the relic, found out it was a forgery, done all that stuff. We've shaken down. Why does it always end in beatings and shakedowns with these Italians? But we've shaken down the noble family we were meant to shake down. We've murdered some poor bugger. We've healed someone else, so that all works out in the end. And we've now blackmailed an imperial cardinal. So I think this was a success. I think that was a raging success. Now, this isn't meant to be writing, novels for you, but you can see how 4 games, which would have just been, so the first game you would have been, there's an objective somewhere, and we're both going to come on from a table edge, and we're going to try and find it. Okay, that's not a very fun game. We're both going to scatter our troops around the board, and we're going to try and do the exact same scenario again. Okay, this time you're going to be in the middle, and I'm going to be coming at you, but there's terrain around, and the objective's in one of those pieces of terrain. Again, it's not really that interesting, and then the final game would have just been a simple race to the middle and get the objective first and then kill each other. But by adding the why and the how and the what, adding the extra stuff about relics, that one dice roll at the beginning, that one dice roll about a relic has changed this whole set of scenarios to be some sort of a forgery, shakedown, extortion racket scheme that we've exposed and then taken over, essentially, and become much worse at, as criminals end up doing. and condottieri. The line between condottieri and full-on mafioso criminal types is small in that the fact that the mafia wasn't set up at the time, but these condottieri were not the most moral of characters, although some were. But I mean, mercenaries have never been associated with morality. So that's the scenarios we just rolled up live. I rolled up some earlier and put a bit more of a story on them. So the exact same premise. So here's the scenario I put together as well. You might want to use this one if you don't like the relic idea, and if you don't want to roll your own. The same thing, you're a group of condottieri mercenaries hired by a nobleman's family, tasked with messing with some other nobleman's family for some reason. They hate one another for some issue. So the first scenario, you're going to lead a search against a scattered enemy in order to persuade a banker to reveal a secret. So banking houses were pretty common in Italy. So remember, the search scenario is when there are 3 objectives and one of them is real, or you need 2 of them to win or something. So you could say that the banker's children are scattered around this area, or 3 friends of his, or even he himself, if you wanted to pick one of those objectives to be the real one. So your idea is to basically go and kidnap a banker and then convince him, essentially, to... I'll get rid of this. Convince that banker to give you some sort of blackmail. Again, it always devolves instantly into blackmail against some other family. So, we've got our banker, assuming we win. If we don't win the scenario, we can roll another scenario. The second one, we're leading a strike, so one objective, against an advancing enemy, so we're coming on from the table edges, in order to decode a statue and repay a debt. So what I figured this could mean is the bankers revealed to us that, okay, look, their son is spending an insane amount of money. The son's got a secret account with me, or the son comes in and takes money out all the time. He claims it's for other things, but it's obviously not. So he is always meeting. He's been seen a few times in this one area near this one statue. Statues all over Rome, so we'll say it's a statue. And decoding in this case means find out, what could possibly be the reason for this guy hanging out near this statue. And we're going to find that out by going to the statue because he's there at the moment. That can be the single objective. We just want to get to him and ask him a question. And we're going to repay the debt in that we're going to essentially use the banker's information. And if we can get the money from this guy, we'll give it back to the banker. And then the banker will not destroy us for kidnapping and beating him. He probably still will, but, if we can get him some cash, that might, mitigate some of the violence. The enemies we make in these games are fantastic. So in the third scenario, we're going to lead a strike, which is, again, a central objective, against a scattered enemy. So the enemy's scattered around, deploying all over the board, in order to hide a courtesan, which is a lady of the evening, and take revenge. So what we found out when we decoded that statue, or when we decoded the statue when we went there, was that the son has got a bit of a problem in that he's addicted to pleasures of the flesh. And we found his favorite, or the madam, or whatever they want to call it, the favorite courtesan of his. And so what we're going to do is get her and get her away from the other condottieri who are also, looking for her to kill her, so that she can't go around blabbing about this scandal. So we want to take her and then use her for revenge, which in this case will be to out the son of the noble rival family as a whoremonger, piece of degenerate filth, 16th century Italian degenerate. And in the final scenario, we are going to lead an assault. So remember, an assault is there's 5 pieces of terrain and we're looking for one of them against an advancing enemy. And we're looking to capture the Duke's son and humiliate the family. And I did roll that without needing any re-rolls on that last one. So we've captured this courtesan. I've tucked her away somewhere. She can talk later. And we found out that the Duke's son Duke is a bit too senior. Let's say this nobleman's son, this minor banking family's son, has fled into part of the town, part of the city of Rome. And we've both, condottieri, have gone, get the guy. Okay, first find the guy immediately, because the part of Rome he's in is not a nice part of Rome. I don't know what parts of Rome are seedy. When I was in Rome, I stayed in Trastevere for a few weeks, and that was quite nice. But the cab driver said, mucho mafia in Trastevere. And my Italian's pretty bad, but I think that means that maybe Trastevere, which means outside the river, over the river, anyway, other side of the river, outside the walls. So we'll say he's gone to Trastevere, and he shouldn't be there because it's a seedy part of town, especially this part of it. And if we can catch him and we can spread the news that we've got him and his favorite mattress in the seedy, bad part of town, we can humiliate the family and cause them a lot of pain and discomfort and make ourselves rich by harassing and destroying somebody else's reputation. So, those are two randomly rolled up scenarios. One of them I did live. One of them I decided to do beforehand, just in case the other one failed. One of them about extorting someone over fake relics, and which led from us doing a shakedown job to blackmailing an imperial cardinal, which went well. And the other one, which was about trying to expose some family secret, which led to us revealing the bedroom habits of the son of the nobleman family. So, there's plenty in there. There's ones about assassins and banners and statues and buildings. So you could have one all about recovering this book, this grimoire, in order to win a bet. So it can be as trivial as you like, or it can be as serious as you like. You can go through and pick them if you wanted to. I found the 3 rerolls kind of worked. Yeah, I think we had assaults, strikes, and searches on each of the randomly generated ones. It's a nice way to play those scenarios in an interesting way, because if you just played those, as I said, if you just played search, assaults, and strikes, you'd be going, okay, well, this is the scenario, this is what we do. But instead, we're like, oh man, it's not like I'm playing an assault mission. I'm trying to find that friggin' nobleman's son so I can shake him down and make money. Okay, where is the little bugger? Is he in this piece of terrain over here? No, he's not underneath that cart. Ah, damn it. What if he's over there? Let's go over there and check under that fountain or whatever, It becomes a bit more interesting and fun than just like, okay, I've checked objective 1. What about number 4? No, it's not number 4. Number 3? Oh, it's number 3. Okay, sweet. Well, I'll just win the game now by fortifying around objective 3. It sort of loses the fun of it all. So I might make a little series, a mini series about making games matter. So anyway, that's enough of this. Force of Virtue is a great game. They've recently put a bunch of videos out on Beasts of War about how to actually play the game, which I'm not going to try and do because I'm by no means an expert, and they've already made the videos. So go and watch them instead. I'm more interested in what the game can be about than how to play it. And I think we've demonstrated here that the game can be about whatever you want it to be about. And the campaigning in this is not super difficult. These are technically campaigns, scare quote campaigns. You don't have to keep track of anything. You can have completely different forces. You're a condottieri group. You can say, oh, well, Marcus is leading this, and then Ezio, I can't remember, Giuseppe's leading this other one. So you don't need to use the same figures even. If you wanted to try out, let me try handguns in the first one, or the hand cannons or whatever, and then armored crossbows in the next one, and then bows in the last one. You can, because it's a big condottieri group who could all be operating in the same night, or it could take place over a couple of months. The first one would probably take place over the same night, and the second one would probably be a couple of weeks, maybe a week, 2 weeks. So it's really up to you and your imagination and how you want to play with it. I assume that we won all the scenarios in this, so you'd probably roll them up as you were going. But it takes less than 2 minutes, as you saw. I was rolling them up there. You need a D6, a D10, and a D20, or a phone, which can use Google, and type in Dice Roller. I don't think I own a D20 because I'm not a role-play gamer, but I've got D10s because I play muskets and tomahawks. So dice are easy to find. If you didn't have a D10, you could just roll 3D6 and work with it somehow. Anyway, I'm rambling. So if you enjoyed that, let me know in the comment section below. I think I'll do this for a few other games, especially Muskets and Tomahawks is an interesting way of generating scenarios as well. That's different to this, but still makes the game interesting. I recently had a game against a friend, 2 games of Chain of Command, which were essentially defend a position. But they were much more interesting because we used the Blitzkrieg campaign book, and we said, right, this is early war British defending Dunkirk, or the roads back to Dunkirk. And suddenly it was, yes, of course. When the Germans get to that crossroads, of course I'm going to retreat, because that's my line of supply back to the boats that are taking everyone home. It wasn't just like, man, he tagged it, so I guess the game's over. And it became a lot more brutal because one of the games I lost all the infantry in my platoon, essentially, which not the best thing, but he lost almost all of his as well. Because it was really bloody. It was, I'm defending Dunkirk. I've got to defend this crossroads so that other units can move behind it. So I'm going to stay here and dig in and fortify, because there's no going back. If I go back, then other people don't get to live. So it sort of became it added more drama to the scenario than otherwise would have been there. So creating stories around why we're playing games. It doesn't have to be super detailed, but it's an interesting thing that I've been thinking about recently, and something that I'd like to see a lot more of. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day.